I think I heard that Nkrumah's plan for Ghana's development could be used today as a baseline for planning at this point. If that's what I heard, what entity or entities would be taking up? So the question is, which entities would be taking up Kwame Nkrumah's plan today, using it as a baseline for development?
There's been a talk of vision, and I think one of the major discussions at the National Development Planning Commission. There's a National Development Planning Commission in charge of the long-term plans for this country. Now, one view is that in the first chapter of the Constitution of Ghana, we put the directive principles of Ghana as to freedom of speech and blah 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 and so on. And so we should encapsulate that what is in the Constitution, because that one will not have any controversy about it. One, I mean, we are all okay. Some of us who are Nkrumahs or admire Nkrumah must always remember there's also a fierce opposition to Nkrumah in this country by another group. So it's been very difficult. So let us pick what we think everybody will be comfortable with. And that's why it came up that, fine, everybody wants economic growth. Because without economic growth, the country is not going anywhere. Now, if we want to have economic growth, we also want to be sure that our currency is stable and can, at least also make sure that inflation is checked. I mean, there's basic things about the economy that we all know must happen. You must have your deficit controlled, and you must have your surplus in good standing, at least 4 months of import. I mean, these are things that we can't run away from, whether we want to go to west or whether we want to go right or want to go left. So that is there. Then the infrastructure for the economy to run, and for people, children must have access to schools, health, So if we can agree on the basic things that affect our lives, then it's a starting point. The rest of it, will depend on who is in power and what style and what they want to do.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Arthur, and my question is based on the first two speakers. But the speaker who just answered the question, I'm not too comfortable as to my voice is not too good today. I'm not too comfortable as to opposition that against Nkrumah or not. That is a highly debatable issue, in the sense that what is good is supposed to be good. If something is all right, it's all right. That's my position in life. And my question actually had to do with from the first two speakers as to what Ghana had gone through from the Gothisberg time, how Gothisberg were able to raise funds or were able to do what he did. Then came Nkrumah. Nkrumah was able to come up with Akosombo. You realize the difficulty he had before Kaiser came in, before the dam was able to build, and before the British left. We were aware money was left. If you listen to the two speakers, you are of the view that the lost period and even what was going on with Ghana and our economy had to do with the dictates of the World Bank and the IMF and what they feel we should do, the direction we should go, because we don't have the cash. So they are directing us as to where we should go and not what we think we should do for ourselves. Let's say to ourselves now that we have the cash. Now we have oil. If we have the cash, can we still wait for the IMF to tell us what we should do or what we shouldn't do? Those are the issues that we have to, as a people, direct our ideas as to what we should do when we have the cash, not wait for IMF or the World Bank to dictate to us. That is my point. I will come in again with other issues, but that is the first point I'm making. Thank you.
Thank you. Roughly, Nkrumah's plan took almost 2 years to craft. The NDPC has been in existence since 1993, the 1992 Constitution. I really want to know what the NDPC has been doing between then and now, and why we haven't seen a solid plan or any implementation. It's really
You said Nkrumah's plan took what, 2 years?
Yeah, that's what I understand. Roughly, it took him 2 years to draw the plan.
Oh, to draw the plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go and study it a little more, you see that there was a series of 5-year development plans starting from 1951. You know, so the final 7-year was an attempt to move beyond the medium term and do the long-term plan. Now, if you've been following what NDPC has been doing, I think up to 1996, there was a Vision 2020, which was the vision from 1996 to the year 2020. And now, that's where, my brother, the thing comes. As soon as there was a change in government, the new government abandoned Vision 2020 and decided that we were going to go for GPRS, Ghana Poverty Reduction Strategy. That ran 2 terms, GPRS 1, GPRS 2. And then there was a change in government, and they said, no, we want to put the emphasis on growth. So today we have a Ghana GSGDA, Ghana Shared Growth and Development Agenda. So that's supposed to be ending this year. And there should be a successor one which is being prepared now. It is in that light that there's a new long-term development plan being prepared for Ghana 2030. Now, what we notice that if we don't get a buy-in from everybody, then it's going to suffer the same thing. As soon as government changes, the next one says, I don't want your plan. I'm going for another one. So there's a need for a buy-in. Now, if you look at our election results, not even Jerry in his most popular time got more than 58%. We always are 52% to 47%. I mean, a country is split in the middle, and therefore we must get consensus before we can move anything. Otherwise, we will not move.
Fine, thank you. My name is Hayford Akrofi. Like Steve, I am also in architecture, but I have been a vagabond. I have been away for quite some time now. And then I come back to find a number of things like him that worry me. With the delay in getting to grips with planning out and programming out what we must do to make ourselves structurally comfortable, we are getting outstripped by our population. And the United Nations says that by 2035, in most countries, Ghana included, well over 70% of your population will be living in urban areas. If you look at the sprawl developments happening in Accra and the other cities, it worries me. It overstretches utility services, sanitation, infrastructure, everything. By the time we are able to stand on our feet to be able to do something, wouldn't it be too overwhelming to deal with the sprawl, uncontrollable development that we have on our hands? And then there's another question, the land question in Ghana. How do we get around it in handling our proposed or anticipated development hopes?
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, your points are quite valid.
but the problem is on the planning. From 1992, 1996, a comprehensive Accra strategic plan was prepared. When it came to the implementation, again, there were political changes. You see, and the problem, the new person, the new party that came, of course, was not interested to pursue that. So that the constitutional change and the political change from Nkrumah's time has been worrying us. Like we are talking now, this present government has, in order to respond to some of the problems we are having, has come out with a national urban policy, you see, to deal with some of these issues. And the implementation has just commenced. We are hoping that there will be political stability to enable us to go about with the implementation. Another problem is that, again, you see, the governance structure of Accra. We mentioned that during Nkrumah's time, there was Accra Tema Metropolitan Area. But at one time, even during the dawn broadcast, Nkrumah sacked everybody and made himself a mayor. You see, right now, as we are talking, the Accra Metropolitan Area and Tema has been split into several units. And you see, I'm happy that the NDPC is thinking about Greater Accra, or if you like, Accra National Capital City, to come and coordinate things. So unless we are able to, as institutionally, establish what NDPC is trying to do by coming out with something, an institutional arrangement, and then a planning program for the Accra as a national capital city, embracing the whole this big urban continuum, will have a problem. And again, unless if there's a political change, the new political party also accepts to continue what we are doing, then there will be a problem. So I think all of us have to contribute. Maybe Mr. Kuhu may want to add something to it.
React to what my senior brother said about the NDPC and the issue of the vision. I happened to serve on the publicity committee of NDPC when there was a change of government during the NPP time for about 12 months. And what we discovered is that all the visions you are talking about were never owned by Ghanaians. Just before previous NDC left power, they brought Vision 2020. And no Ghanaian knew what it meant. Nobody knew what the Vision 2020 meant. GBRS, GBRS 2 and 3, whatever. Nobody knows what it meant. A majority of Ghanaians don't know. And it's the people with whom you're going to develop. And the people who do not buy into whatever you want to sell to them, there's no way you can implement it. The second issue regarding vision is that if the vision is a government vision, when it leaves, the next government will throw it away. So we'll keep on going backwards and forwards. But if we can have civil society, technocrats and technicians like them, being brought together to carve a vision, we could even find Parliament to enshrine it in our constitution. And then whoever you are, if you come to power, you're bound to follow it. If it's a 25-year vision, you are bound to follow it. But if you keep on letting government bring their own vision, we will say it is their vision, and whenever somebody comes, he throws it away. So we have to find a way of making Ghanaians buy into the vision and be part of the vision.
Hello, my name is Dr. Delphine Chaudry. I'm from France. I represent the Affordable Housing Institute, and I really appreciate all the presentations, which were very interesting about the history of Ghana and the geography, how that geography was settled over the years. And my question is, nowadays, since it's related to the questions that have been already asked, but I would like to go further. Nowadays, 80% of the city is developed by the informal sector. Economically and urbanistically, 80% is developed by the informal sector. How urban planners of today know how to work with the informal sector and now not against the informal sector. It is a major challenge today. For example, when what is going on in Abuja in Nigeria is that there was a plan for Abuja, and it was like that plan that is like a Bible. It's like a plan that we have been talking about. Yeah, it's a plan that has been done in the 60s, in the 70s, and we have to do absolutely the plan because it's the plan. But the problem of today is that the informal sector has been so much developed that it enables that plan. So how do you cope with that? How do you try to integrate the evolution of the city and how to make it a positive planning without going against the majority of the population?
Thank you very much, Steve.
New thinking. If you look at the housing and urban settlement, human settlement part of the plan, there's a big emphasis now on the slums and the informal sector, because especially the British, through their indirect rule, you find in every British colonial city there's a formal sector which houses the civil servants and so on, and then the informal sector which houses the indigenous people, and that didn't change. So if we want to make an impact in urban development right now, it is to look more at how we can make the informal sector improve in situ, more than just getting rid of people. And I think it will make a more vibrant city if we approach that. So that's very much in the
Thank you very much. Now, we've more or less covered most of the questions. Joe tells me that Irene is here. Please clap for Irene. You don't know why, but Irene is a singer. And she is going to waft us all out with a song.